Hi guys, and welcome along to what is quite possibly the last course vlog of the season. That's primarily due to the fact that the weather is going to get us, and obviously wind is a factor when filming these things. Here we are on the first hole, obviously a chance at a hole-in-one, the first ace of our journey, but it's not to be on this occasion. And got pin high, which is quite good actually on this hole when the pin is at that far right hand corner, so I'm not displeased with that first hit there with the 9-iron. As you notice, we are playing off the mats on the short holes now to protect the tee boxes, again because of the time of the year. But this was a particularly good day. You can still see that there's a fair amount of breeze around that we need to take into consideration, but as you can see the sun is also out, so a very pleasurable round in the conditions. Just push that slightly there for the par, but we'll tap that in for the bogey and move on to the second hole on the course. Now, it's fair to say that I'm probably on a bit of a heater at the moment. I'm playing some of the best golf that I have played in, well, forever. So there are still obviously opportunities for me to make improvements. You'll see throughout this particular course vlog there's certainly shots that I could do better with, but I am still playing some of the best golf that I have ever played. Left myself here with 185 yards to the flag, got the 7 wood in hand. As usual, going to aim up the left hand side of this hole. There's nothing for being right down here. Totally dead and short sided if you are, and if you get it left and you get some rollout, you have got an opportunity of it getting down onto the green anyway from up there. Hasn't happened on this particular occasion. I think we trickled through the little grass bunker here to the right, but a lovely little chip down here onto the green. Apologies about the shot into the sun, but as you can see, left us with really a kick in for the par, and we'll always take that on this hole here because it is quite a challenging one. Fist bumps already going as we're trying to pump ourselves up for this round. As we move into another opportunity here with Ace Cam being live, it is the par 3 third, 9-iron in hand. Again, this is a hole where you really want to be a little bit short and try and bump it on into the green, because it's a very tricky green. If you get on there, you really can't keep the ball on the green. You always end up running through because it runs away from you. So gap wedge here to try and get us in close proximity. A little chip down onto the green. Great little effort there with the gap wedge. It was from distance, but I was trying to keep it out of that wind rather than lobbing it up there with a 56 or a 60 degree wedge. Lovely view there into the distance, and once again we are faced with a bogey, but this round I have a feeling is going to be a good one, and we'll pick up here on hole 4 with the 7 wood in hand. Brought the camera up onto the tee box, which, as you know, I don't tend to always do on this hole because of the proximity to the 17th green and the 18th tee box, but considering the good weather that we had on this day, there wasn't many people on the course. Right, 9-iron, going flag hunting. It's on the front left corner, 130 yards uphill, and yeah, very, very good opportunity. I've set the flag down and put the camera in there so that we could have this quite unique view. I'm glad it kind of came off, to be honest, because I was hoping that it didn't hit the GoPro on the way through. 7-iron into the next par 3, and we come up a little bit short, but we are right at it. Probably got about 25 to 30 foot putt here. Obviously the camera doesn't really lend to the distances involved, as you can see from here, as the paragliders are up because of the wind being around. And another fist bump there for the par. Hole 6, 3 wood in hand. This is the new 3 wood that I'm rocking at the moment. It's a Sim Max 2 high launch, so 16.5 degrees of loft. I bought this purely because I've been hitting the 7 wood so well, and I'd ideally like to have had the Ventus shaft that I've got in my 7 wood, but to be perfectly honest, I've got the Proforce V2 high launch shaft in that club, and it's got a bit more whip in it, but it's certainly a nice club to hit off the tee box. So we'll be sticking with that anyway as we hit this 7 wood absolutely perfectly, and I can't ask for a better shot from that kind of distance. Unbelievable distance control. And I thought we were probably going to end up a little bit long, to be perfectly honest, as it come off the club, but I would certainly take what we got out of it with a birdie look on the hardest hole on the course. Unfortunately, we've just pushed that off to the left-hand side. But we're going to tidy it up for the par, and another fist bump. This round is really starting to come together now. Hole 7, 3 wood again, off the tee. Aiming out right because, as you can see, there's a big kick off to the left on this hole, and I started it out right. Wind's brought it across to the middle of the fairway, and as we see now, check out this lie and how far I am below the ball. You can see I've got the club choked down to accommodate that, and I'm basically going to have to hit a baseball swing at this one. I'm aiming out right, but to be quite honest, I think I shut the face down in this shot, and it's pushed it well left down towards the tee box for the next hole. We did our count distance, although it was a bit long. So big chip coming up here with the 56 degree. Just want to try and get it there because you probably can't tell from that particular shot, but we've got a lot of work to do to get over the grass bunkers that guard the left hand side of that green. Tricky putt, this one. Again, the camera probably flattens it out a little bit, but as you can see from the roll on the ball, it is a tricky left to right putt, and didn't really give it the respect it deserved, if I'm honest. But we do tap it in, and it's a fist bump, and we're fist bumping bogeys when we're making them from that kind of lie that we had with the 7 wood. Didn't really get through this one, as you can see. No, the body's not moving enough. It was all arms, that shot, and we've sprayed that one out to the right. We're on to another fairway, and here we are, off running to check out where this 7 woods ended up. Didn't really have enough club in hand to get the distance, but we've left ourselves in the rough here on the left-hand side of the hole, and chipped on with the gap wedge. I actually firmly believe this should be the stroke index 1 on the card. The biggest problem that you've got with that is that from the yellow tee boxes it's a par 4, and from the white tee boxes, which are about 60 yards further back, it's a par 5. So I do understand that there's a difficulty there in setting up the stroke index appropriately, but I've never had a par or better from the yellow tee boxes on this particular hole. I have had a par from the white tee boxes in competition, but that's a different story. However, bogey is not a bad score on that hole, if I'm honest. It could have been much worse. 3 wood here, again, off the tee, trying to get this into play and really smash this down the left-hand side of the fairway. Really pleased with it. Probably one of the better drives of the round so far. Leaves us with 104 yards in, and obviously that's a gap wedge for me. But I've pushed this left as I've tried to counteract the lie and the wind and everything else that's going on. So we're having a little bit of a debate here as to whether to chip this or whether to putt it. And my previous round, during a society game, I chipped in with a gap wedge from a similar distance, and I've really started to feel the gap wedge chip again at the moment. So here we go. Let's see what we can do with it on this occasion. Comes out a little bit low, but puts us in range for the par. You can't complain at that. But you can complain at that. That is a wasted opportunity and a shot dropped, in my opinion, as we close out the front 9. But still not a bad score at this point, as we're basically 4 over through the front 9, which is exceptional for somebody of my handicap and supposed ability. But as I say, I have been playing exceptionally well as of late. Everything seems to have just dialed in towards one another, and although I'm not hitting the ball exceptionally far off the tee, everything else in my game is really starting to come to the forefront. So we've got 3 pars on the front 9 and a birdie, no doubles. That's the most important aspect of lowering scores, is to reduce the amount of double bogeys on your card. So 3 wood here as we head back into the wind on the back 9. Spread this one down the right slightly. I'm not displeased with it. We've only got 100 yards to the flag, which is at the back, being a blue flag, and we've taken aim right at it. Has come up a little bit long, but sometimes, you know, you have to take going long. To be honest, sometimes I'd prefer to go long than be short. I don't know what you guys think about that when you're strategizing out on the course. So a fairly long putt here. I'd say we'd probably go about 20 feet to the flag. Left it a little bit short, but just trying to get it in that radius, and if it drops, it drops. It was one of those sort of putts. You're not really guaranteed of anything. So it gives us a look again at par. Probably got about 3 or 4 feet here, and we tap that one in. Another fist bump to start out the back 9 and the charge towards what could possibly be one of the best rounds we've had on the channel, and indeed one of my best rounds ever. So we're sticking with the 3 wood off the tee. We are into wind now, and you'll tell by how short I've hit this thing. I think it only went about 165 yards off the tee. I mean, I did flare it up into the air a little bit, but yeah, it was a ridiculously short 3 wood off the tee. Hit a really nice 7 wood here over the top of the brow of the hill, and that puts us in striking distance of the green, 165 yards to the pin. But you don't want to see that. Completely blocks it off to the right, and that is dead. Right into the core of those brambles out on the right hand side. So we're just going to grab another ball out from the bag here and take our medicine and play a shot from here with a penalty. And we are playing our 5th shot right now. So this is par 5. We're playing our 5th into the flag, and it's a good effort. But again, a little bit flat, not quite got the elevation on it. Probably could have hit an 8-iron, to be honest, and just run it on in there, but never mind. That is our 6th, and unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, the one thing that you want to try and keep off the card to reduce scores is doubles, and we do have one on the card now. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. You just got to move on. And we are into the next hole here, another par 5. It's back-to-back par 5s at Freshwater, and we've hit this down the left-hand side, expecting the wind really to give us a bit of an assist because it's coming off the sea towards us, and it just didn't touch it. Did not touch it one iota. So we're a bit displeased with that. We've ended up in the left-hand side rough here. The ball's not sitting too badly, as you can see. I can get the 7 wood on it, but it was a risky shot. In many respects, I probably should have hit an iron, but you can get this 7 wood through the rubbish, and it again, this 7 wood honestly is the best thing in my bag currently. So much confidence is inspired when I stand over it. We've got 98 yards now into the flag with a gap wedge in hand, so we're heading towards the green in regulation, but unfortunately we do push it left into this grass bunker on the left hand side. Really nice view here with this camera angle, as you can see the view of the cliffs in the distance, and paraglider that has got himself into a bit of bother down that left-hand side there. He actually landed on the course as we were about to tee off on the next hole, but here we are with our par putt. We have got a bit of work to do, and unfortunately I've got a bit of too much of an open stance there, I noticed when I was editing this video. I don't know why I was so open with my stance there. I do have an open stance when I'm putting, but that was quite aggressive, and I think that's probably why we ended up pushing that a bit off to the left hand side. Right, hole 13 is a 7 wood in hand here, because I kind of don't want to go for this green too much. You kind of run out of fairway if you hit the ball too far, and so I prefer to lay back and give myself a wedge, a full wedge shot in. It's not quite got the distance I wanted because we've ended up in the rough on the left-hand side. As you can see, the flag in the distance there, the yellow one, is where we're aiming. And I think the biggest problem we've got here is that I'm trying desperately not to overshoot. So I end up undershooting, obviously, and we're in the green side bunker here, grass bunker that is. And again, you might not have been able to see the ridge, but unfortunately I didn't quite get it up onto that ridge and down the other side, otherwise that's where the chip would have ended up. So we sort of lost a shot there to a bit of poor wedge play from the side of the green, and we end up with a bogey. One thing to bear in mind now as we stand here on hole 14 at the drop is the fact that I'm now only using the GoPro from here on inwards, and the reason for that is that my iPhone had died just recording footage, so we've only got the GoPro to work with now. Nice decent shot. We've got ourselves into the core of the green here, and that would be considered to be a decent shot, I think, on this particular hole, because hitting the green can be challenging depending on the wind conditions because of how elevated the tee position is. We've got about a 40 yard, 50 yard, 60 yard even drop down to the green itself. So another one lipping out. Another one lipping out. So that's 2 we've had in this round, 2 that have been for par, and 2 that have ended up being bogeys. Just remember that at the end of this round, that those 2 shots could be critical, along when you think about it of my performance on the 2 par 5s, which is where I'm usually very good and pick up some scores. Flared this one out a bit to the right, again the wind I think having a bit of an effect, and we were quite fortunate not to end up in the bunker. It's not the worst place, that bunker, to be, because you can kind of take a full shot at the green, but lovely chip coming up here with the 56 degree that's going to put us very close to the pin on a very challenging hole on this course. I think it's actually stroke index 4 off the top of my head, because it is such a challenge because of the way the green complex works on this hole. So I'm always happy with a par on this hole. As we head into hole 16, again another challenging hole, out of bounds all down the right hand side, bunkers lining the centre section, and we've got the bailout fairway on the left hand side, which has become my aim point. Normally during the summer though, that ball would roll down onto the main fairway to the right hand side. Unfortunately, because we've had a bit of rain over the course of the last few days, we've ended up staying up there, and I've got a very tricky shot here with the wedge, trying to get down onto the green, which is a 2-tier Mackenzie. So we've landed it out on the top section of the Mackenzie, and just repairing the divots there. Got to look after your course. As we come down to you can see the slope that we were faced with here. So I'm quite happy with being just off the edge of the green, and obviously we're going to just tidy this up for a par, hopefully. And there we are, in for the par, back-to-back pars. You love to see it. Going down the stretch now, we really know that we've got a bit of a score building. 7 iron here, again off the winter tee mats. This hole really confuses me in many ways, because this club should be too much for this particular shot, but it's never enough, and I can't convince myself it's a 6 iron, so I always end up a little bit short. Decent chip on with the gap wedge. Put that a pin high. Again, you can see that the wind is quite severe as we fist bump that one again for the par because it's shaking the camera around. Last hole, 18th, 3 wood in hand. Been playing well with this today. I still think there's more potential to come from this particular club once I start to really get it dialed in, but this is the miss that I think that I'm going to have with it when I don't quite get through the ball with the body and kind of just use the arms, and this one came up a bit short. I've got the 7 wood in hand. I can't make the green, and I know that in the back of my mind I'm trying to carry the pit in front of us, but unfortunately it's about 10 foot short. I didn't again get quite through it. Now here's the problem of only having one camera, because this is the part of the round where I'm really annoyed with myself, because I thought at this point that I was recording from now, but I'd been recording from when I'd taken the shot previously. So that's where the ball landed. We took a gap wedge out of there, and again I'm going to show you the full length of this footage because I want to show you where the ball finished, and I cannot believe that I haven't got this net shot on camera. It's so annoying because of a mistake basically whilst I'm trying to play golf and trying to film at the same time. So essentially I've got the camera here on the trolley, which I've got 2 setups. Usually this is where the iPhone would sit, and I've swapped them over for the last section of the course vlog, except for when I'm on the tee boxes. And unfortunately, like I said, I'm thinking that I've pressed record when I get to the ball, and instead I was pressing stop record. The biggest problem there is that I've stopped the red light from appearing on the GoPro so that I don't put off other golfers whilst I'm recording out on the course. I've decided that's not the right thing to do from now on, so when I'm out on the course the red light will be on when I'm recording, because I need that to just give me an idea as to what's actually happening whilst I'm out playing and recording at the same time. So gap wedge, as you can see, was an excellent shot. Come up pin high to the left hand side. I chipped this in, and yeah, it was a 1 in I don't know how many chance of this actually happening, but I chipped it in, and I look back at the camera and I'm thinking that is going to be a shot that I can put on social media and Instagram and everything else, and I don't have it on camera, and I'm absolutely gutted. But I'm not gutted too much because of my score, which, as we can see from here, is a 77, something I'm exceptionally proud of. I've broken 80 once again, and on camera no less. It's only the second time I've done it, and both times have been on camera. But this is a ongoing trend as of late, as I mentioned earlier in the vlog. The last 3 rounds I've played have been far the best 3 rounds of golf that I have ever played. I've kind of learned to accept that I am going to miss things and I am going to make mistakes, and that kind of relieves the pressure in many ways, as weird as that might come across. Obviously I'm not too pleased with a few of the shots that I made today, certainly the double bogey on 11, but like I say, you're going to make those mistakes, and you just have to learn to live with them. We did have those couple of lip outs as well, which obviously are another couple of shots that we could have potentially saved ourselves. So we could have been really looking at a low 70 round if everything had come together. But how many rounds does that ever happen where you walk off and you go, I got the maximum out of it today? I don't think I've ever been in that situation. So let me know in the comment section down below if you've ever played what you consider to be a perfect round, because I don't believe that anybody has ever actually done that. Golf is such a fickle mistress, and will kick you when you're down and lift you up when you're on top. Anyway guys, I really do hope you've enjoyed this video. I will try to do more videos throughout the course of the winter, but as I say, it does become more difficult as the weather conditions get worse, especially with the wind and being able to keep the cameras in position and all that sort of thing. But hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button, and if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can see more of my content in the future.